So starting the test drive in this Camry, it's just crazy to think that this has 188,000 miles on it and it's still driving perfectly fine so far. I had to pull out into traffic and I didn't feel anything out of the ordinary. The transmission's still shifting well. The 4-cylinder still drives pretty nicely. And in the stop and go traffic, it's handling like it should. So pickup is actually pretty good here, especially shifting with this 5-speed. Has a nice grunt to it, even though it's a 4-cylinder. I'm gonna put in a second. I'm just gonna see how this thing does. So I actually like that it kind of shifts with the stick. You know, that's not really what it's meant for. It's meant to kind of hold your gear, but it's cool that it's able to do that. Overall ride comfort so far is pretty decent. And again, with this being as old as it is, these aren't new shocks. This isn't a new suspension system. These aren't new wheel bearings and all of that. So the fact that it's still riding relatively well, knowing that I'm sure a few of these parts could be replaced, it's pretty impressive. You know, you get into some of the older Cadillacs and they'll have 80,000 miles on them and the struts are out and it'll just freaking bounce down the road. And not having that issue here. And you know, these are things to consider when looking at used cars, especially those that are approaching 200,000 miles. The power seat still works here, radio still sounds good, steering still feels good, brake pedal feels normal. Now another cool thing about this car is I actually like the gauge cluster here, even though nothing is digital except this down here that shows the odometer, and I can change that to the trip meter if I want to. It looks very unique, it's just very nice to look at, I think. Let's give it a little pull here. Not bad at all. Now, not the quickest shifting transmission with this being as old as it is and only being a 5-speed, but again, if you want to, you could kind of throw it in your own gear if you choose. Just with this kind of miles and stuff though, I wouldn't really want to fool with it, because a lot of these older cars, especially the Japanese ones, they like to do weird stuff if you push them too hard. And if you've seen some of my older Honda Civic reviews, even as new as a 2017 model, I tried to floor it getting on the interstate and it threw itself into a freaking limp mode, which was not fun. Now I don't expect that to happen here with the Camry, but I'm still not gonna floor it just because I just don't want to take that chance. And you should be allowed to do that in your own car, but a lot of the times, just certain things with older vehicles, they start going bad and you don't want to have to fool with that. So we're gonna try and give it a little pull getting on the interstate here. If we can open it up. All right, here we go. So that's about all we're gonna get. Actually, I'm gonna try this as soon as I have enough space. So not the strongest engine, but I mean, hey, it got up. It has the power to merge, definitely. But all in all, still a pretty decent used car, I think. You probably got several thousand miles left on this one. I want to give one more thank you to Daryl Waltrip Honda for allowing me to review this Camry today. I'll leave a link below in the description. And if you're looking for a Camry in your neighborhood, definitely make sure you check out the link below, fill out the information. It takes about a minute or two, and then we can get you matched up with a dealer that's trying to get you the best price on a Camry. But I mean, final thoughts, this still holds up very well, still drives really good. And again, I think it has a ton of life left in it. And there's nothing that's wrong with it that I can sense just driving this around town. And I put my foot in it a couple times, so I think that says a lot. But this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2008 Toyota Camry SE.